Thank you for joining us today at Miniature Wargaming Labs. Today we will be painting up the Chaos Ogryn from the Morok box set, but we're going to be using it for our Chaos Gang in Games of Necromunda here. That's what I got on this Necromunda base. A little skull right there. Alright, so to do this one, I primed it standard Mechanicus gray. I used almost all Army Painter paints, so I used Cultist Robe, Leather Brown, Rough Iron, Necromancer Cloak, Matte Black, Gunmetal, Skeleton Bone, Corpse Pale, Grimoire Purple, Pixie Pink, Plate Mail, Dry Rust, Daemonic Yellow, and Gorgon Hide. And then I did use Games Workshop's Nuln Oil and Drakenhoff Nightshade and Seraphim Sepia. So, fun guy to paint. Came together pretty quickly, so we're going to do a way that you get it done in one day. So I've painted this all in one day. Alright, let's go ahead and get started. So I've primed my model standard Mechanicus gray, and it's dried, and it's looking good here. Got a Necromunda base. So I'm going to take some Army Painter Leather Brown. Got my dish here, and I'm going to do this little strap across his chest. Probably need another one of these so I can do Necromunda Ash Waste. Why not just have multiple models with different bases, right? I probably won't ever get around to that. Who am I kidding? So much to paint. So little time. Alright, now let's get this little pouch and the belt here. Now while I let that leather dry, I'm going to get some Army Painter Rough Iron here. I'm going to do two parts. Okay. I am going to do... See, it's got that... I like the look of almost being gold, but darker. Kind of like their copper, but darker. So I'm just going to go ahead in here and do the grip. Okay, I think, you know what, I think I want to do this part of the star. It's got the Chaos emblem going on over here. So I'm just going to do this. I'm not going to do the spikes. I'm going to make that a different color. You don't have to. I want to. Next we'll take some Army Painter Cultist Robe. And we'll actually try to get the model in focus here. Now this is a good utility pants color. And we're just doing the pants. The reason I did the brown first, because I wanted to get the belt loops. So there's little belt loops, and I wanted that to match the pant color. And it was easier to paint the belt and get sloppy with that instead of trying to paint the belt loops and get tight to there. So inside out. So we're going to stop here, so this is just the little pants area. I'm actually digging this color. First time using this green. I figure if it's Cultist Robe, it'd work well for... Now I'm going to take some Necromancer Cloak here. And that will go on boots. back, so the boots I have going up to the calf here. Then I want it for, there's going to be some armor bits I'm going to do in the Necromancer cloak. So I'm going to do shoulder pad, the little backpack, this little plate up here, try not to hit the belt. And then I believe we'll do the gas mask. Be helpful whenever he runs into some Eshers. And then we'll do a breather pipe here. Alright, now I'm going to break out a custom paint mix. So this came in one of the larger Army Painter sets, and what I did is I took one of their empty bottles, and it's 1 part Army Painter Matte Black and 2 parts Army Painter Gunmetal. So it makes a much darker metal color. I'm going to use this for shin guards, for the blade. Oh, I guess it's kind of a sword. And we're going to use it for the spikes here. And I want it for this band. We're going to paint this tank yellow, but since I got the paint out, go ahead and start the process. How if I actually got it on camera. Just start drifting off there. Now something else we can do for fun. So we have all these little scratches. So we'll take metal, hit the edge of his pauldron, kind of show that it was painted but it was damaged. So we can just tap around there. And I guess I'll do, he's got a belt buckle right here, so let me do the belt buckle. I'm going to do some of this down here. Where are you? There's the other side. If there's any other metal bits to do. Oh, he's got little, didn't even notice that. He's got little spikes back here. If I remember right, he also had like something poking out right here. So it's like multiple stars coming out of his body. Okay, so just go and fill all this in. Now I'm going to take some Army Painter skeleton bone, and there's these little tusks right here. Oh, before I forget, I also put the metal color, there's a skirt back here and the spikes in the shoulder pad. Don't know if I pointed that out before. So you see the darker metal comes out of the Necromancer cloak. Kind of blends it together. I like that. Alright, just one coat of this. Now we're going to take some Nuln Oil. And I have a brush that is beat to hell. And I am going to liberally coat all the parts I've painted. So I like my Necromunda models extra grimdarky. I love what it does with the shoulder pad. Dig in the green. Yeah, it does a great job on the Necromancer. Gives it that beaten black leather look. And we'll see how it does with the Cultist Robe green. This will be my test of it here on camera. Yep. Gotta keep him up right now. Alright, we're gonna let this guy dry for a while. So I'm happy with how I did my wash. I like how the metals come around compared with the boots. We'll do some highlighting later on that. So overall is looking good as we're going forward. Very happy with the green. Looks like a good camouflage color there. Now we're going to go with Army Painter's Corpse Pale. As you imagine, this will go on the skin. So I want very dark outfit. And we'll do very light skin tone. And as you'll imagine, we're going to use a different wash, which will create a sickly colored effect. I know I'm jumping ahead there. So I'll just go ahead and finish that up. Oh, we're going to do this different colors over here, but I want to start by at least running down to the forearm on the Corpse Pale. This is going to be multicolored, but we're going to do a foundation of the Corpse Pale first. Alright. I had to put 2 coats of that on, but now we're going to work on this claw. And I've chosen Grimoire Purple and Pixie Pink. Now, the way we're going to do this is, let me show you my dirty palette right here. There's the Grimoire Purple, there's the Pixie Pink. There's a brush kind of messed up. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get some of the pink in there. Let's just test how smooth it is. Alright, so the middle part of the claw. See, we did the Corpse Pale up to the edge there. Just putting a nice thick, the watery coat, Pixie Pink. Alright, so let's get a little bit more water in here. See, we're kind of turning it more into a glaze. We're pushing that line up into the Corpse Pale. There. And then clean the brush off, and now I'm going to take this and pull it back. Not too much. So you want to kind of blend it in there. So we start revealing some of the Corpse Pale at the edge. The Pixie Pink. Just love saying that. Okay. Now, without cleaning my brush, let's go into the purple. Since it's chaos, you can have a lot of fun here, kind of blending the colors together. Of course, it creates a hot mess. You gotta wait for it to dry. And it'll make more sense once we do the wash. I'm just imagining what it's gonna look like. A lot of times I don't know. Oh, that's starting to roll back. Oh, I should probably have painted the whole thing corpse pale. That glaze from the arm is washing down, removing the paint since it hadn't had a chance to dry yet. That's alright, because here's what we're going to do. Just glob, nice thick glob, right there. Glob, glob, glob. Now you might say, James, it's pulling back from the top there. Yes, it is. We'll deal with that later. I don't want a little bubble of paint in that development there. Let's dry off this brush. Get rid of some of this watery paint here. So I want to go a nice thick purple right there. So it's a pain sometimes. Don't know how it's always going to turn out, but look at that. Alright, now that's going to take a while to dry. Now since I've got to wait for that arm to dry, let me do some other steps that aren't near that part of the model. So I'm going to go back to that mix that I have. 1 part Army Painter Black, 2 parts gunmetal, and we're going to just do the base. And do it all around. This will cover up some of the pink-purple concoction that I fluttered about. Alright, the claw is really starting to dry up now, but we're going to go back to Necromancer Cloak. And get my messy palette here, get my brush wet. Just make a little quick glaze. So I'm going to create these Necromancer Cloak little arcs here. Okay, we'll let that dry. Let's get just a drop of corpse pale here. Let's smooth out the transition. You don't have to wipe it off from your thumb, it's just habit. See, we got a better transition there. Let's get more of the skin turning into a pink. Go. Let that dry. Now this is dried enough. We're going to go back to the Grimoire purple. I'm going to get a dry brush here. Get some of the purple on there, and I'm going to wipe it off on a piece of paper until it looks like it's not wiping off anymore. And I'm going to hit these transition zones. What that allows it to do, just kind of blend the two sides. So the transition from the Grimoire pink, kind of like what we did with the corpse pale over there. I'm trying to just break up that line of demarcation. I think that's working there. Now what we'll do is we're going to take some Drakenhoff Nightshade. So this is their blue. And I'm going to take my brush, dip it in there, hit it into some water to kind of loosen it up. And get some more water on the brush to push this around. Just want a slight tint of blue to the skin. We're going to go around, try to move pretty quickly so it doesn't dry and leave like little water rings. This gives it that corpsey look to it. Now where we're going to put this is pretty much wherever we see the skin. Look what that's doing to it. It gives it that sickly color. Super cool. There we go. We put this, so notice we got 3 different colors here, well 4 if you count the corpse pale, and then we did that last dry brush with the purple over top, and now we're putting this watered down wash on it, and look how it's blending it all together. So sometimes I've had this model for a while and I haven't put it together. Well, I've had it together, had it primed, and I just stick it on a shelf staring at it. Thinking, how am I going to paint you? Now for fun, what we're going to do is put some of the Drakenhoff over just, the only metal piece is this sword. So I'm going to make it look like a different piece of metal. So darken this down with a blue tint. Alright, so let's go back around, make sure we got all the skin. Now I'm going to go back to the skeleton bone, and that's just for, alright, we want this container, except for the metal band. We're going to paint that skeleton bone. pants if I move quickly enough. There we go, get that off the pants. This isn't the color it's going to be, I'm just prepping it to be that color. Alright, so let's get this cable. Oh, so I also carried the skeleton bone into the wrap, into the little skull there. That only made sense. Now I'm going to take some Gorgon's hide. Got to be careful with this too. Alright, so dry brush. Load up the brush. And I've got a piece of paper towel next to me. And I'm going to wipe it till it looks like no more Gorgon's hide is coming off. And that means it's ready. Be very short and tight as you go over the musculature. And better to not have enough paint and go back than overpaint this. You can see what that's doing to the skin. Create this sickly death look to it. And over here, with the last dregs of paint left on the brush, hit the arm, and look at that. See, that wasn't so hard. I'll just for fun do the piping. So I keep going around, flavoring to taste. Destroys the heck out of my dry brushes. My wife buys me these by the stack. And I burn through them by the next birthday or Christmas. Next we'll take some Daemonic yellow. It's for this tank here that we painted skeleton bone. That was just to make it a good receptacle for putting the Daemonic yellow over. And we'll do it on this cord here. Now we're going to do the base. And I like my bases heavily rusty, so we're going to take some dry rust, put a dollop in there. I'm going to let's take the back of my brush and my paint water, start putting drops in here. And then while I'm spinning around, I'm going to pull it up, see how it runs back in. Kind of basically doing a glaze. And then I have to take this out for the way I do it. Don't want to rotate them too much because I don't want the rust going everywhere. Okay. Don't want it going on that skull. It's okay if it goes down the side. I normally rust up the sides and running out. Gotta be careful with this brush flicking around. So you see we got pink spattered around the pants. Just a little note, we're going to turn that into blood marks. So the pink will actually serve as a base. That's why I decided to cover up that mistake. Trim gaps there in the skull. To pull some of this orange back from the skull. Okay, so we'll start. Okay, now that's going to take a while to dry, so we're going to let that sit and dry. Now we're going to use some Army Painter Matte Black. And what we're going to do is we're going to paint this cable in the hazard stripes, which I normally hate doing. I'm trying to get better at it. So what I'll do is put a dot, put a dot, put a dot, put a dot, put a dot. Alright, so I want nice even spacing. And then since we wanted to add an angle, we'll start building the lines out. Then what we do, we'll probably have to take him out of the handle here. We take it and we just start from where we left off. Just go whoop, whoop, whoop. Do you have to wrap it around in a spiral? No. No one's going to pivot your model around. Let's see how it connects. They'll just see, oh man, you painted the hazard lines. Oh, I wish I could do that. You could, if you were good. I know no one listens to these. There we go. Cool. We're going to put another wash. I know it's a lot of washes, but we're having fun here. Alright, let's take some Seraphim Sepia. Shake that up a wee bit. Alright. Now I'm going to take a brush. It's falling apart, but it does have a bit of a pointy end here. We're going to put it over the yellow. And it just dings it up a little bit. Alright, where else do I want it? I want it very carefully. I don't want it running down into the skin. You can see there. This will make the little, I don't know if it's a bandage, just a wrap from his old uniform. There we go. Got all that. Work nice and slowly like. Alright, we're going to do the yellow of this. This will just give it some interest. Okay. Now, I want to get that skull, but I'm actually going to do the whole base. And so this really punches up the rust effect. So the rust actually looks kind of too orange for my taste. This is why we have to wait so long for it to dry. It's because if you start slopping this wash over wet orange that I basically glazed on, and of course the motorcycle goes by right now. Okay. Oh, going off camera here, not paying attention. Alright. Now what we're going to do is put him on the pallet here. Let that dry for quite a bit. I'll probably go off and do something. I'll wait for that. Alright, now we got him back on our stand here. And we're going to take some Army Painter plate metal. I'm going to apply this two ways. So I'm going to use fine point brush here. And I'm just going to get pieces of the buckle, like highlight little sections of that. And this will help me cover up some of the pink from when I was doing the claw when it started splattering around and I didn't realize it. Get some of the metal here. Just punch it up. I believe the term most people use is give it some interest. Finish up this last shin guard here. A little bit of the face mask. Try to pull it away from his face. Some more. Then let's see. Little button on the belt. Button right there, the belt. I'm going to take the brush, dip it in a little plate metal, wipe some of the plate off, just go like that. Just kind of hit the brush up against it. Do both sides. He's also got those little spikes coming out of his back. Let's go. You see I'm using the brush. This is how I go through brushes so much and destroy the heck out of them. Okay, that's fine. You keep making more. What else could I punch up? Oh, got the little chainmail back here. Okay, that to pop out. Alright, let's do some of these spikes. We'll do the edge of the plate. Just where it's torn up, you see some of these little gashes here. Just hit around those. Just touching around the edge of this plate. Make it look a little bit more distressed. Make that look a little bit more damaged. And I think we're good there. Now that we're at the stage of just punching stuff up and cleaning stuff up, let's get back to our Necromancer cloak here. And we'll... Oh, that's the brown. Gosh darn it. Okay, so I had some leather brown here that we did for the straps. So we'll just go ahead and put like little touches, highlights there. That'll cover up some of that pink that went around. Just put like a little line through it. Do not mean to touch the black with that. So, doo-doo. Alright, there's some there. Okay, now clean the brush off. Now look at the Necromancer cloak. And clean up some of this stuff here. You know, it's similar in color. I might have gone for a lighter gray. You should think about that if you want a higher contrast value. Just put some on here so it lightens it up. Alright, now let's see what else we got. Oh, the pants. So let's take some Army Painter Scaly Hide. So this is actually a brighter green than what I used. Let's see how that will go. I don't know, do I want to use that? Yeah, that's too light. Alright, change of plans. We won't use Scaly Hide. We'll use Cultist Robe again here. That'll cover up that pink. I'm going to punch it up anyway, it's just good reason to. Maybe a blend. If you're doing this, don't be afraid to mix paints. I know I don't show paint mixing here because it's not, I don't know, not the fast and dirty way to do it. I do it a lot actually. So let's go up here and just hit some of the higher areas. Actually, I'm really liking this Cultist Robe. Very good pant uniform color. Okay. I know what I was going to do. I was going to go back to Pixie Pink. Alright, let me get a little bit on my tray here. It's kind of watered down. I want to make his eyes glow. So I'm going to get my tiniest brush. Going to get a little wet here. Dip it in the Pixie pink. So dip it in the Pixie pink, which you got right there, then pull it back, pulling a lot out, and that's the way the tip's nice and sharp. And make it look like his eyes slightly bloodshot. Got pink eye. There we go. Actually, I think that's good enough. Good enough for government work right there. Very well. Well, thank you for joining us at Miniature Wargaming Labs, and we'll see you next time.